What's up, friends? Welcome to the 4:30 Live. It is Friday today, and hopefully everybody had a good week and had a good Thanksgiving. My week in Thanksgiving was good. Um, so, trying to come up with ideas on how to make these lives longer and make them more interacting. So, if you guys have any ideas for me, uh, be sure to let me know. Or if you have any questions for me that you want to answer, if there's anything that you want me to talk about, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm getting more comfortable on doing the lives. So if there's anything you want me to talk about or any topics, just let me know. I'd be happy to touch bases on that. So what's up, Eric? Thanks for joining, man. Um, so let's see. The title says we are living in the digital age, and I'm sure you know this, unless you're living under a rock. But it's a really interesting time that we're living in right now. Pretty much getting really involved with computers. I mean, it's some amazing stuff. I grew up with computers. I actually learned on the Macintosh computers that came out that had like the colorful clear back. So I'm really good with the iOS operating system. That's how I'm good, just really good with it because I pretty much grew up with it. I think that computer came out when I was like, I don't know, I can't remember the age I was, but anyways, I learned on that computer. So that's when it I really saw the start of like online interaction, like AOL, if anybody remembers that, and just how the internet really starting to catch on. So it was really cool. So, and then now we have like the platforms like YouTube and Instagram that their design is actually pretty genius. How they associate status with numbers, and of course, we've always associated status with numbers, include specifically money. You're a certain you're in a certain group with a certain amount of money, and this is slowly converting over to these social media platforms. Like you're recognized by a number, which is really interesting. And like I said, a really genius way to set up a platform with, subscribers and a certain number of likes. And it's just really interesting. I'm really curious to see where YouTube's going to go from this. But I mean, I love YouTube. YouTube is a tool and it can be abused or it could be used correctly. Like you could spend all day on YouTube. There's like, I think it's, well, I know it's close to 4 million videos a day are uploaded. So you literally can spend all day on YouTube. But you can also tool and use it as a tool and really learn a lot of things. And yeah, Eric, I know there's like some hate and love with computers, but one thing is interesting is that it's supposed to connect us, but it's actually creating a slight divide where people are getting more immersed in the virtual reality of computers and not going outside. So in a way, it's kind of bad where there's the socializing aspect is getting disrupted. So I think it's because we're so new to this idea of social interaction on the internet that it's something that we're going to have to learn. So, um, but yeah, I like YouTube because you can learn and you can put yourself out there and you can make a channel on anything you want and teach people other things like my channel. Like I try to put out positivity, and I try to show people that with a spinal cord injury or a traumatic experience, you can move on and you can do good in the world and rebuild your life and get better at things, and it's not the end of the world. So um, that's why I like YouTube. That's the biggest reason. So, and just myself, I had an issue with going on YouTube all the time and just looking at nonsense, that's something I really had to discipline myself with. I had to get rid of Instagram because that was a big distraction. Instagram and YouTube are very similar, but I think YouTube's um, a better platform in my opinion. One thing what's crazy about YouTube is the amount of money they're generating with ad revenue. They're doing about $100 million a day, which is crazy. So they're doing close to 3 billion a month. In a quarter, they do Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. In a quarter, they're generating about $8 billion. So you could see how profitable this business is, and it's just absolutely amazing, crazy money, like amazing. So um, let's see here. Yeah, and then another cool thing is like when you do put yourself out there and you have a channel, if you die, you have like a digital ghost in a sense. People can kind of get who you were, understand who you were and what you believed about, and it's all on so-called archives, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's only gonna we're gonna only see crazier and crazier escalation in technology, like the new iPhone, the 15, I thought was pretty crazy. The new camera is 48 megapixels, and that's better than some, professional DSLR cameras, which is amazing. I'd like to do some filming on the 15, see that 48 megapixel. It's got like cinematic options and things like that. So computers that we had, um, in the past, we can literally, I mean, the phone is a personal computer. That's what it is. But it's amazing that the computers are that small and we can carry them around with us and they can do some pretty wild things. And it's getting to the point where they can really do some serious stuff on your computers. I mean, you can edit whole videos on your phone, something I don't do because it's a little tricky to do, but you can edit whole videos. You can pretty much do anything. I've actually built websites on cell phones, so it's pretty cool. It's just amazing, the technology. It just amazes me, bottom line. And then we have quantum computers evolving right now. I don't know much about them. I just know that a very good quantum computer that they're learning stuff every day. It's called the D Wave, and if you look up D Wave, it's also pretty amazing. Once we start getting into more regularity of quantum computing, that's when we're going to see a really crazy spike in this technology. But then we got podcasts. Podcasts are super interesting. How we reverted back to talk shows. They're a little bit more in depth because the person sits there for hours, and you can really get a sense of, again, who the person is that's either being interviewed or the podcast host themselves. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the digital age we live in right now. It's an interesting time. And, like you said, Eric, computers can be very negative, but they can also be positive, especially for business. Very positive for business. And the reach that you have with computers is absolutely insane. But you always have to remember, don't get stuck on the computer. Make sure you get outside and interact with actual humans, because if you get stuck on a computer and you never leave your house and you're in this digital world all the time, it's going to take a serious negative toll on your mental health. I started to see it with myself, so you got to be careful. That's why there's a lot of um, depression these days, because this it's people are stuck in virtual reality, and that's one thing that your mind is not meant to do. See all this fast image switching, and if you like look out your window, you don't see that shit. You don't see images switching every half second, every second. That's why TV, people had issues with TV. It's basically hypnotizing you. That's what it's doing. But anyways, I don't want to put too much of a negative say on computers, but yeah, it's like one of the best things for business, Eric, like for sure. So it's pretty awesome. But um, yeah, oh, installing programs. Okay, yeah, it's going installing things though. It's getting quicker, that's for sure. So anyone? Well, it looks like you're the only one watching, Eric. Do you have any questions for me before I take off here? Because I'm going to get off in a couple seconds here. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the digital age, and I think we're going to see some really cool stuff happening in the future. But all right, well, I think that's it. And thanks for watching. If you do see this, thank you to those who have donated to the channel. Um, really appreciate it. Yeah, Eric, I don't watch TV either. I completely got rid of all my TVs because it's the biggest waste of time ever. I think it's it's a waste of time, and they were invented for consumerism. That's what they were invented for sure. So um, yeah, so thank you for donating to the channel. If you have donated, thank you for subscribing. Thanks for joining the live, Eric. Always appreciate it. And as always, friends, stay strong, stay active, stay creative, and go help yourself. Over and out. Have a good weekend.